This is a story of a young boy who had an exceptional ability to talk with virus. His name is Mike and he lives in Europe. He did not know that he can talk to virus. Once a new virus came to the world and started to kill many people. Whenever a new virus comes to the world, it starts to appear in his dreams. As days passes by, dream becomes more and more vivid, and after a few days he can actually talk to them in his dream. After talking for months, they actually allowed him to ask for leave this world. He feels sad to say this as he grows a friendly relationship with them by that time, but he needs to ask them to leave as people are dying. In very in every few years, this type dream disturbance occurs to Mike as soon as a new virus appears in the world. He likes this experience of his, enjoys it, but the sad part in the killing of people, he asks this question to all viruses. Why do you kill us? They always answer in the same way. They say, we do not kill anybody. We are just traveler. We like to travel, go from places to places, meet new people, animals, explore their body. We are harmless. But he always tries to explain them this is causing death to human. But they do not listen to him until he keeps telling them for months. Things are going on in this way for many years. His parents, wife, and only son John do not know about this. He is growing old. He started to get worried about saving the world from virus after he died. After thinking about this for some years, he finally decided to explain this to his 15 years old son. At first, John started to laugh by hearing this story, but Mike tried to explain him that it was true and real. John explained him that there are many doctors who invent vaccines which actually kill virus, not his dream. But his father refused. But his father refused uh, to believe that as his dreams were so vivid, so real. Mike kept trying to convince John, but all his effort went in vain. Mike is more anxious now as he knows the world will be in trouble after his death. So he kept thinking of alternative ways to save the world from his death after his death. Then he decided to write a book about his experience with virus from beginning to end. He started to write and after a year the book was finished. One day, he called John and gave him the book. He requested John earnestly to keep this book with him. John promised to keep it. After a few months, Mike died. John is very with his normal life. Once he decided to sell many old stuff and books to a store. He found a store which is of this type. He sold his stuff with very cheap price and the shop owner was happy about it. Then few years passed, everything was nice, life was good, he earns enough money to live a middle class lifestyle. He is happy about it. But things are started to go wrong as a new deadly virus emerged into the world. It started from one country as same as always and slowing moved to some other countries and people are started to die. Governments of those countries are worried, shut down all the communication with other countries to stop it to spread, but it kept spreading to other countries with slow pace. Doctors and scientists are doing a huge research to find a vaccine for it. John was not worried. He had a strong belief on experts about this. But one day its effect was becoming more and more deadly as more and more people were dying. John started to get upset as it might come to his town with populations of 100,000 people. John started to think about anything he could do to stop this virus. He remembered his father's story, but that is very hard to believe. After few weeks, the virus already killed half of world population. John was more worried now. He started to find his father's book. He searched the whole house but could not find it. Then he remembered to sell some old stuffs to a store nearby. He went to the store and luckily found the store open. The shop owner recognized him and greeted him. Well, John asked him about these stuffs. The shop owner explained John that he buys from many people every month and sells those to some other people. It would be almost impossible for him to tell who had John's item. But as John was requesting him over and over again, he finally agreed to show him the diary where he recorded all buyers and sellers' name and phone number including date. John was happy to see that. He made copy of those pages and went home. But there are more than 500 people's name on the list. He started to call one by one and ask them about buying items from the shop named Small Town Store. Some of them remembered about it and some did not. He asked the buyers to still remembered who still remembered about that old items. They brought their answers were not satisfactory. He then decided to visit their houses. He then started to go one by one. In a week, he finished 1,000 houses but did not find the book. The virus was more deadly now. He kept searching for the book. One day he went to an old lady's house. She was very nice. She took him to her garage where she put all old items. He searched the garage, but the book was not there. The lady informed him that she used to know some of her friends who also brought from the store. He went to those houses and finally found the book. He immediately went home with you and closed the door and started reading it. He carefully read the whole book, but there was nothing in there about how to stop virus except his father's dream. He was upset. He thought he would find something in the book. He now blames himself as he actually should have listened to his father or at least read the book before. He kept thinking what to do now. He stopped the thinking what to do now to stop the virus. After thinking for a few hours, he could not find any other way except to read the book again with more carefulness. So he did. He read the book again, but again he did not find any clue. In the meantime, he got the news of virus's arrival in the town. He got more frightened. He went out to gather more info about it. In hospital, it started to get filled. People were scared. Shops were not opening out of fear. He already stored food for at least 6 months. He quickly came back home as police were advising to stay home to protection from virus. He was more worried now and went to sleep. He could he could not dream like his father. He tried to remember anything from his father's advices, but he could not remember anything as he used to ignore those. He had no other ways except to read the book again and again. He started to get paranoia and kept is reading the book over and over again with most carefulness, but could not find anything about. And virus already took lives of 50,000 people of his town, which was half of the population of the town. People were never this much nervous in their life. Everybody was just waiting to die. John read the book more than 100 times. On the next morning, when he was reading it again, he noticed something. He noticed something different. The contents of the book had changed. He did not understand what was happening and how, but he was surprised, puzzled, and also excited at as at least something strange happened. Now he stopped to do any other thing than concentrate to read the book. He thought he could find any clue now, but no, he could not find any clue. He had not give up and kept reading and After reading it 10 more times, he noticed change in the content of the book. He got curious and kept reading it more. This time, contents changed after 5 read. He was more and more excited, and soon contents are changing in every read. Then one morning he found a line at the end of the book which mentioned to keep 10 items under his bed before he goes to sleep. He remembered this part from his father's story. He was excited, and luckily all 10 items were in the house. So he gathered all those and kept those under his bed and went to sleep. He woke up in the morning and the items were gone from under his bed, but Virus was still there. He opened the book again and read it and found out a line at the end suggesting 10 items. He did everything same as before and went to sleep. Nothing happened this time as well except the vanishing of items under his bed. He kept doing this for 10 times, and after that he saw one line. It said, "Do you want us to leave?" He wrote yes underneath. He went to sleep. In the next morning, he turned on the TV for news and it was showing sign of virus departure. He was happy now.